Now this is going to be a different video from what I usually make, but I've gotten enough questions on this over the last year that I thought I should do a quick video talking a little bit about, well, three things really. So first, who am I? What's my background? And the second one, what's my video making process? And then the third one, why do I do it? Why do I have a channel and what's my mission here? So let's just jump right in here. The first one, who am I? Well, my name is Matt O'Neill. I'm 51 years old. I was born in Western Tennessee, and I grew up in a small town in North Georgia. I had a pretty normal childhood. I grew up pretty much in the country. I played baseball and soccer up through high school, did the typical outdoorsy things, hunting, fishing, camping. I graduated in 1988 and went off to college on a Navy scholarship at the Citadel in Charleston, South Carolina. I graduated from the Citadel in 1992 with a degree in chemistry, then went into the Navy. And the commands I did in the Navy was, my first one was I was on a guided missile cruiser out of Staten Island, New York, which was a pretty big change from a kid growing up in the South. From there, I went out to Naval Postgraduate School in Monterey, California, got a master's degree in physics, came back to the Navy headquarters, worked in the Pentagon for a couple of years, and then my last tour in the Navy was on an aircraft carrier back on the West Coast in Bremerton, Washington. So after 10 years in the Navy, I was looking to get out. Home Depot had a fast track manager program. I got accepted into that. I got out and managed a Home Depot for the next 5 years, and I managed stores in the Nashville, Tennessee area and Williamsburg, Virginia. So by then, I'm married with a couple of kids. My wife is still a naval officer, and I'm working some, long, crazy hours as a retail store manager, and I'm really starting to think I don't want to be missing my kids growing up, so I started looking around for other options, and I land a gig as a scientist, a civilian scientist working for the Navy again. So for about 8 years, I worked in missile defense, which is really when the bad guys shoot an ICBM at us, we shoot it down with another missile. Did that for about 8 years. That was a pretty fun time. I got to travel a lot. We had missile ranges out in Hawaii and all over the world. Then after doing that for a while, I got into chemical, biological, radiological defense. So that's what I'm doing right now. I manage a team of folks who help protect our ships and sailors if any bad guys were to, use chemical or biological weapons against us. So that's the day job, brings us up to where we are today. As for my fly tying and fishing history, I started fishing back in middle school, continued that through high school, and eventually picked up tying in college, and I did that pretty much off and on, as often as I could for the next 25 years or so, but it was really only in the last 5 or 6 years that I really got back into fishing and tying. And for anybody who's learning to tie flies in the last decade or so, YouTube is a pretty big resource for that. So I got the idea just watching all the big YouTube channels out there that, hey, I could do this. I could give back to the community by, teaching other folks out there to tie. So for several years, I had the idea that maybe I would like to start a YouTube channel. And then COVID hit, spring of 2020. I'm not commuting as often. I've got a little bit of time. It was kind of my opening to go ahead and finally start the channel. So that's what led to me finally starting a YouTube channel. And the second part of this, I want to talk about what's my process for actually making videos. Well, first off, as I just talked about, I do have a day job, and I'll typically get home from that between 5 and 6 p.m. Got to spend some time with the wife and kids. I've got kids that do after-school activities and horseback riding, and we try to have dinner. Then after that, try to spend some time with the wife. And then after about 9 p.m., that's pretty much my free time. I come back downstairs to the basement right here, and that's when I spend time at the bench. Now, I try and publish 3 tying videos a week. That's Tuesday, Thursdays, and Saturdays. So the night before, say a Monday night, after I've gone through that routine, I'm coming down to the bench at 9 o'clock. I got to pick a fly to tie for the channel. And I either do that from my to-do list or the cork board of requests I have, or just flip through the books and find one that I want to tie. Might have to spend 30 minutes or an hour practicing that one. When I feel comfortable enough tying it, I'll turn the camera on, film it for the camera. Then after that, okay, if I'm satisfied with how it's turning out, I go back to the computer, do a little bit of research on the pattern itself or maybe the tire, and then back to the bench with this camera, filming the talking head part. So after that, I'm at least an hour and a half or 2 hours into the process. I go back to the editing software edit both of those pieces together, insert, some B-roll or whatever I need to do to try and make the video just a little bit better. After about an hour of editing, I have to let it render, then back to the bench to take a still shot with a different camera for the thumbnail. Then after all that, I upload the video and the thumbnail to YouTube, type out the description, and then schedule it to post at 7 a.m. the next morning. So that whole process usually takes between 3.5 or 4 hours. I try to be in bed by 1 a.m. so I can get up at 6 a.m. and go to work for the day. And that's a routine I follow for at least 3 nights a week. So if I'm publishing Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, I do that Monday, Wednesday, and Friday nights. And then on the non-video making nights, that's when I usually am answering comments and responding to folks, answering emails. So pretty much every night of the week, I'm spending a little bit of time at least working on the channel. So the last question, why do I do this? What's the whole purpose of it, and why do I even spend all this time and effort? Well, first, it's because I really like it. I like tying, and I like teaching people how to tie. And one of the ways I look at it is if the more new folks that I can get interested in fly tying and fishing, well, the better for the future of our sport. So the channel is coming up on almost 2 years old, and I've been fortunate enough to have it monetized. The ads you see at the beginning, sometimes in the middle of it, that the channel does make maybe $400 to $500 a month right now. And what I like to do with the ad revenue that the channel makes is turn it around to give it back to the channel. And well, sometimes I do use that money for buying the materials. Fly tie materials can be expensive, so I use that for replenishing my supplies. But I also like to, give back to the community. And I usually do that by, when I buy a book for myself, I'll buy 2 copies and I'll do a review and give one back. Sometimes we do more fun things like name the fly contest, and the winner of that, I can give out gift cards. And a lot of times we'll do materials or tool reviews, and after that review, I can give that away. Sometimes we do bigger ticket items, maybe vices every once in a while. So really, that's it. A little bit about me and my background and how I came about starting a YouTube channel and why I'm doing it. Oh, one other thing before we go. The future of the channel and my future. The ultimate goal, really, I think, is for me to start writing fly tying books. And maybe I'm 7, 8, 10 years away from retiring from my day job and moving out to our farm in Western Maryland. But I figured that if I could start a channel and build a successful YouTube channel, that I might have a little bit more luck when I'm going to a publisher and saying, hey, I would like to write this fly tying book. And really, with any luck, maybe a publisher will have already heard of me, or if not, I can say, hey, look, I've got this YouTube channel with 50,000 followers. Every time I publish a new video, get at least a couple thousand people watch it. So there's my ultimate end-game goal. Retire out to the farm, spend all my time tying flies, going fishing, and writing books about it. And so far, I'm pretty pleased with how the channel's growing, and I owe that and a debt of thanks to all you folks who routinely watch the videos, leave comments, email me with encouraging remarks and support, and I really appreciate that. So you guys are really why this channel succeeds, and I truly appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. Thanks for all you do. Thanks for all your support of me, and hopefully we're going to be around for many more years to come. Take care, y'all. See you in a couple of days.